Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I've actually been getting quite a lot of comments recently on my videos saying that I can't jump properly and I need to learn how to jump properly, and I actually kind of agree with them. When I say learning to jump, I don't mean right from the beginning, because I can actually jump, but the comments are saying that I need to learn to pop the jump, I need to pull up, and I need to stop squishing the takeoffs. And I really feel like it's about time I start learning how to do that. When I first learned how to jump a bike, I was riding jumps that were really small and that were tables, and it never really crossed my mind to learn how to bunny hop to gain height out of a jump, because for me it was just about getting through them and staying as close to the ground as possible. However, now I'm at a stage with my riding where I'm wanting to progress to riding gap jumps and jumps that have steep, tall ramps. And in the past, I relied a lot on the speed technique to clear these sorts of jumps. However, now I need to learn to pop the lip and bunny hop out of a ramp to be able to go a little bit slower in order to clear the jump. You might be watching this thinking, don't listen to the comments, Cara, you're doing absolutely fine. And I actually feel really happy with how I'm riding at the moment, but where I notice it the most is lines like this. So this is a gap jump, but it comes out of a corner, and where I'm relying on the speed to carry me over the gap, I'm having to go round this corner really fast, and that's obviously scary because you feel like you might fly out the top or slide out, and that makes clearing this gap really difficult. Whereas if I learnt how to pop out of a lip, I can take this corner a lot slower and still be able to clear this gap, and it will save you from the biggest case of your life, which I've had my fair share on this jump trying to clear it. I want to show you guys a little example of what I mean by I rely on speed a lot, because I've said it quite a few times now, and I'm going to use Tom, who's behind the camera, as an example, because there's a couple of jumps behind me here and I have to start all the way out on the road to get my speed to be able to clear them. But I'm pretty sure Tom can probably start on the landing of the jump before and still clear it.
I didn't realise that today I was being used as an example, and especially doing a short run-up challenge. This is crying out for a case, but I do get your point, and I can definitely clear the jump from here. So
look at the distance though, like the jump's there, so you've not got much space, whereas I have to start out on the road.
It's because, like Cara's been saying, you've got to pop, so I can just bunny hop that gap with very little speed, whereas you can't bunny hop, so you're just relying on like
we'll have to tank it. Yeah, easy.
Is that alright?
Yeah, I'm going to show everyone now my run up that I have to get.
Yeah, that's fine, you better start, it'll be dark soon.
Right, this is my run up then, which might seem ridiculous, but it's partly to do with speed to clear the jump, but also it does give me enough time to set myself up on the bike. So let's go. Drop in. Right, this is the speed at which I have to go.
Yo, nice. Nice one there, KJ.
Thanks.
I don't think you should be too critical of yourself, because, you know, there's two different methods there, but both of us achieve the same result. I mean, there's more than one way to bake a cake, but at the same point, I do know what you mean. You want to go a little bit slower, because like if I lost speed on the trail, I could pop and still clear the gap.
Yeah, you guys have probably seen from some of my clips that when I ride bigger jumps like the ones that are behind me, I tend to squash the takeoff, and that is actually not wrong. It's a technique in itself to squash takeoffs, especially if you're in a race or you're doing a downhill run or something like that where you want to be as quick as possible. So perhaps I've learnt that just by pure accident, but if you want to learn to do tricks and get height and actually ride the ramp, then I need to learn to pop the takeoff, and all of that comes from body positioning and things like that. Tom's going to ride the ramp behind me and show you how to pop it, and I'm going to do a comparison as to how I ride it, and then hopefully after this I will start to learn how to pop out of lips and we can get some big height, and maybe, who knows, we'll do some tricks. As you can see from those two clips, mine and Tom's are very different. Tom pops and I don't, basically, and you can tell from our body positions out the ramp, my bars are very close to my chest, whereas Tom's arms and legs are almost pushing out, and he gets that extra height, and just it looks way better and cooler in my opinion.
To pop a jump then, what do you need to do? Well, you basically do a bunny hop out the top of the ramp. At the moment, Cara is letting the ramp do all the work and she's basically just a passenger, which is why she's relying on speed. When you pop, it's basically just a bunny hop, and to start things off, when you learn a bunny hop, you've got to be confident at lifting up the front wheel nice and high and having control, because it's all good and well being able to lift it, but if you lift it too high, you might even end up doing a backflip, which you don't want to accidentally do. So we're going to get Cara on the floor here, just practicing lifting the front up, getting that balance and timing dialed in.
Well, I think this might be a little bit harder than I first thought. That was really cool. Tom's basically told me to be aggressive, but also to use the suspension as a bit of a help to pop the front wheel up. And it's obviously not going to be an overnight thing, or even just in this time that we're filming the video, something that I'm going to grasp instantly, but it's something that I can definitely work on. And the next thing that I want to try and do is apply that, but to a jump. So we're going to go over to the dirt jumps, to a line of tables that I'm really comfortable to ride, and see if we can try and pop the lips and get some height.
We're going to give you another little demonstration as to what popping the front does, but this time on this tabletop jump. It's a jump that Cara's comfortable on, and this is perfect because she is actually lifting the bike up, but she's at a restricted height because she can only lift the front wheel so high. If you imagine you want to make like a perfect arc, so once we've popped the wheel like what we're learning to do on the ground, you then obviously have to level the back out, and the higher you can get that wheel, that's how you end up going high on a jump. If you can't get the front wheel that high and lifted the back high, obviously you're just going to go straight into a front flip. Those lines are quite a good way to sort of explain that and show you exactly what I'm going on about. And we're now going to see if Cara can apply that technique to the jump and get a bit more height.
I think all that's left to do now is to actually just practice and put it into action. So I'm going to ride this line a few times because I'm super comfortable. It doesn't scare me to ride these tables at all. So it's actually a really good line to put into action what we've all been taught by Tom today. So I'm going to hit this a few times, but try and go a little bit slower so I can lift that front wheel and try and get it into the landing. So if I case, it actually doesn't matter. I just want to learn what the bike does when I try and pull up on that front wheel. Right, that was kind of it. I didn't obviously clear the jump, and that was on purpose because I wanted to go slow and see what the bike does when I really try and pull it up. But now all I need to do is try and jump with the bike, so lift the back up. But obviously it's got to be all timed perfectly, because if I try and lift the back up before the front's up, then I'm just going to do a huge front flip. But yeah, let's try it now. Right, we've come over to the kicker ramps and I'm sat on the floor because I've just had a little session off camera trying to practice the technique, and I'm exhausted, I have to say. It's a lot of brain power and like physical up down all the time, but I'm making progress, and I'm going to show you guys the progress I've made by just going a little bit slower. Like, it doesn't mean to say that you're going to clear it every time, but it's really important, especially at the stage I'm at now, to understand the technique rather than going flat out so fast and then missing the technique and having a big crash. So let's ride this a few times and hopefully we can see a difference.
Yo!
I'm so happy with that. You can definitely see from that clip I'm not sinking into the bike as much anymore, and I'm actually riding the ramp as opposed to letting the ramp do all the work. I feel like I'm attacking it a bit more, like pulling at the lip as I get up to it. I think, like with anything, you can't see masses of improvement when you look at something, but for myself, over time, if I keep practicing that, hopefully I'll be pulling up just as much as Tom does. And the reason that I wanted to make this video is there's a line at Phoenix Cycle Works that I really want to do. It's a brand new line, it's got a big kicker gap, and it's definitely within my capabilities, but my jumping at the moment, sometimes I pop, sometimes I don't. So I really wanted to do a session today where I focused on really popping jumps and things like that, because with that line, if I didn't, then it would be quite bad because you'd have a big crash or you wouldn't even make the gap. But I hope you guys have learned something from this video, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, put your comments down below, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay? Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way.